these collections, and this is your first time using Mendeley, then how do you now create a particular library or maybe a particular collection based on the research you are undergoing? Let's assume you are conducting two research A and research B. You understand, and maybe research A is entirely different with research B. So possibly the kind of papers you are going to have in research A, there might be some interlink between the papers, but most of the papers might be different from the collection of papers you have in research B. Then now, how do you create a collection for each research? All you need to do is come down under these folders I have, then click on create a folder. When you click on create a folder, then you can name this one maybe research A. Then all you need to do is press enter. Then I have another one, I'll call it research B. So now you see, when I click on research A, I don't have any paper in this particular folder, and likewise I don't have any other paper in this particular folder. Then again, there's another thing. It's possible maybe you already have some papers in maybe in a particular research you conducted before, and you wanted to put those papers maybe into the new research group. You may say, okay, okay, this particular paper, the hydrolysis and cellulose in refuse, whatever, is relevant to my research in B. Then I can easily drag and drop this, and you see I've already populated my folder or my collection in B with that particular paper. Then this is one way to populate your library. There are several ways people use to populate your library. Have all the PDFs, and all you need to do is copy those PDF or copy and drag them into this particular folder. Now, for example, let me go back to my some of the files I have. Let's say here, prompt engineering. Let's say I have some papers here. You see I have some sample of papers. Let's say these papers, I want to conduct this particular research A. So all I need to do, let's say I want to put all the papers in my folder, which I call research A. You can see my research A is empty for now. And if you look at this, I have a lot of papers. Let's say I want to copy only 5 of them. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So all I need to do is, this is my my research A collection is very empty, and these are the papers PDFs. One way to populate your library is by copying. You see, I just take it and drag it into this application, and it will populate the papers. You see, I only copy some of the paper doesn't even have a name, but because I put in the PDF, it automatically extract the name of the paper, the authors, and the year. You understand? And another thing is, because you are always online, especially when you are online, you are connected to the internet. One thing you can do sometimes is you can right click on this one and say update details. So it will fetch the latest details, especially the year of publication, in case some of the metadata information are not complete. So you can see this is one way of populating your library. Then another way is, let's say maybe you have your references somewhere. You understand? Let's say you export your reference. Let's say I'm working with another researcher. I'm researcher A, and another researcher is researcher C. And that researcher C already have a collection of some papers, and maybe his system or his application is having problem, and he already has a backup of that library. So what he's going to do is, maybe he want to share that library with me, so that I can maybe continue working on it based on what he has done before. He can actually export his own library, be it maybe in EndNote or any other reference manager. All the we need in Mendeley is the extension of the file should be either in BibTeX or RIS. So all we need to do is, especially if you want to populate using another method instead of drag and drop, if you don't have the PDFs, is by uh, importing. You go to import, then in the import, you go to file first. In your file, you come to the import, and under the import, you see we have either BibTeX file, we can put EndNote file, we can put RIS file, which is called Research Information System. Then we can put Zotero. This Zotero mostly is a kind of what is it called, reference manager tool, also mostly used by chemistry and all those chemical engineering student. But Mendeley also has most of the functionality Zotero has. So which make Mendeley more important or stand out among other reference managing tools. So another way, like I said, let's say you have already the collection of, let's say in RIS from another person. So all you need to do is search where maybe the collection is, for example, desktop, click on the file, then upload, then it will automatically populate your library. I'm very sorry, I forgot to have another one IRS file that I can use to populate this particular group. But this is exactly how you do it. Let's say you wanted to do it in B, and B you have only one paper and you want to add other papers by uploading. So what you will do is go to file, like I said, import, then you select the extension. Based on the extension of the file of the library you have, you click on it, and it will automatically populate your library with that with those particular resources you have in the previous library. So that is another way of adding references to your library. Then another way is by adding the library, by adding the resource manually. You understand? You can say here, they say add, you go to file, you say add file. You understand? Okay, this is when you want to add it. You can say add entry manually. Add entry manually. So all you need to do is you click on add entry manually, then you click on the what is it called, the type of the publication. Some publication are book chapters, some are journal articles, some are conference proceedings. You understand? Some are film, some are generic. You understand? Depending on the kind of publication, or some are even blogs. You understand? You wanted to add, so you can actually select the type of the publication, then enter the title of the publication. Let's say it's a journal paper, and the journal paper is about mainly citation. Then definitely there must be an author of that paper. You understand? That, let's say, for example, uh, Abdul Malik. You understand? Then the journal name, since we selected a journal article, maybe the journal name is journal for whatever, journal for software system. Then the year of the publication, volume. So all those metadata information, you have to enter them manually. That is when maybe the paper is not available online. And then another thing, you can also add the some of the metadata information, such as URL where you can get the paper, and the DOI of the paper. You understand? And if the paper is also available maybe in PDF, you can also click here and upload the paper. Then you click on save, then you automatically have that particular paper. So let's quickly write all these things randomly. Let's say 2000. The volume is 101. Number pages is 12. Abstract, no abstract. Then you can add some tags, some keywords. You understand? Some information are not actually necessary. Then like I said, let's say you have the file already and you want to upload the file. So what you need to do is click on add file. I come here, let's say this is the file. So I click on this one and I save. Then I click save. So you can see I have added an entry into the search group B, and the name of the author is Abdul Malik. The title is Mendeley. This is the journal paper, and this is the year of publication, and this is the time, of course, that I have added the document. So now we have seen three ways of adding the file. One is by just dragging and putting the folders, which we did in our collection B, collection A. we drag the papers and we put them, then it automatically populates the library. Then another one is we said by uploading the imported libraries from another different maybe reference manager. That is where you go to file, you go to import, then you select based on the extension of the file you have. Then another one we just treated is how to add it using manual entry. We click on add manual entry, and that is where we add Abdul Malik, this thing. Then mind you, when you are adding manually, it depends with the type of publication. For journal publication, you may have all this information, but let's say you change it to a book section, you can see the information requires changes. So depending on the kind of publication, maybe when it is a filming, you see you don't need any author, whatever, you only need the title, directors. Okay, the directors are more like the authors. Then if it is like an encyclopedia article, you also need an author, the title, the abstract, but there are some information you don't necessarily need. You understand? So it depends with the kind of article. So now we have seen three ways of adding information to this library. There are so many ways, and I would like to also show us another way that I've seen people using, especially sometimes you may want to download, you may want to have a collection of all your papers maybe in one place. Some people go to Scholar, but you hardly people see people using it. But depend with what you want. Let's say you are conducting research about software engineering with large language models, for example. There are several papers in software engineering with large language models. And let's say you want to go through and download only papers that are relevant to what you want to do. So what some people do is you come, let's say, yeah, this one is relevant. Then you click on this site. When you click on the site, you go down. There are several extensions. Make sure you click on this reference management extension. Normally the file will come in RIS, and normally the files are not heavy, they are less than 1 kilobyte. So you see it called Scholar RIS1. So let's say I download the first one, the second one I say no, it's not relevant, the third one is relevant, then I click, I download, then yeah, I have to then this one is the relevant, I click on this one, I download. Yes, I have three papers. So it's possible you go through this just by downloading, and it will take you less few minutes because the files are not really that heavy. So all you need to do is go to the download or wherever you downloaded it. You see I've all downloaded one, two, three, about four of them already, but I only downloaded the RIS file. So what I will do is just like the way I added the resources by dragging and drop. I can also apply the same method. So what I will do here is, let's say I want to add my some of this publication based on the RIS files I downloaded here. So what I will do, I will highlight all the RIS file, then drag and drop it here. So you can see it automatically populates the library with this information. And if I want to update the library, maybe based on the current information online, I can highlight all, then update the files, then all the information will be updated, the title of the paper, the authors, and other things. So that is basically some few ways of how to, after creating a library, after organizing it maybe based on the collections, then this is how to populate or how to add resources to your particular collection. Now, having understand some of the ways we add resources to our Mendeley library, then let's see some of the metadata, updating some metadata information. Like for example, you may notice this is like a manual entry, especially those who that has manual entry, they do come with some issues. Maybe you may have some spelling errors and other things that you want to edit. So all you need to do is click on the paper. Here is a metadata section where you have, okay, what is the author? The author is Mendeley. No abstract. Okay, do you have any abstract you want to add? You can add, since it's a journal article, so definitely it should have some abstract. Maybe it wasn't published before, but now it's published, then you can add the URL link. Then the author's keyword. When we say author's keyword, these are some shortcuts to identify some particular error. Or sometimes let's say you have several, you have authors, maybe Ma'aruf Usman, you have Ma'aruf Lawan, you have Ma'aruf Soso Muhammad. There are three different authors, but with different names. So maybe the first one may be Ma'aruf, you say Ma'aruf, maybe 2020. You understand? Maybe the paper is published 2020, and you have another Ma'aruf, or maybe the same Ma'aruf published maybe several researches, but you want to be able to identify that particular Mahmoud. You can put the Mahmoud Ma'aruf based on the year he published that paper. Maybe Ma'aruf 2020, Ma'aruf 2021, Ma'aruf 2022, like that. So that is how to actually go through the metadata and make some changes. Then here we have some notes. If you want to add some note based on the particular library, okay, please in the future I want to do this, this, and that. Maybe your to-do list or whatever information you must have extracted from this file, you can actually add it to this particular notes, and it will be there for you to come back and see, or maybe make some actions based on the text you extracted. So, and again, look at the, when you look at the interface very well, you see here we have this green, which means the informations are available. But after the green, we also have under this document, we have a file here. Okay, sorry, if you have any question, you just wait a little moment. Or maybe when we come to the question and answer session, I think it will be better. So maybe when I landed at the end, you can just put all your questions together. In case maybe you cannot hear me very well, you can talk in the group that we can sort it out. So here we have is because we have the file, the PDF file is available. That is why we are having this small red icon in this application. Then remember, I populated my A library based on the PDFs available. So that is why here I have all the PDFs available. Do you understand? So now we have seen how we add papers to our libraries, and how we organize the library based on collection A, B, C, you understand, based on the data. Then we also have seen how we check the metadata information and update if there are any errors we want to update. Then again, having understand this, now how do we add some annotations, or how do we highlight this particular document? Now, let's say maybe in this paper is, I'm reading this paper, but since the PDF is available, mind you, for you to be able to read in the Mendeley, the document has to be available, uploaded in the Mendeley. So let's say I want to read this particular paper, exploring the the effectiveness of prompt engineering for legal reasoning tasks. So I double click on it, you see it opens inside the Mendeley. So what we call annotation is one thing you can do is, like, maybe as you are reading, you find some paragraphs very interesting, like here models like OpenAI, GPT achieve satisfactory whatever accuracy, like that, and you want to highlight this particular section. So what you need to do is, you see after highlighting it, it brought some icons. That is, if I want to highlight it only with colors, or if I want to add some note, you understand, highlight with text. So I can highlight, then I can add some annotations that, okay, the performance, okay, or let's say the performance, since the performance is 80, I can say maybe there is a gap in the performance. You understand? This is just some information I am extracting based on my reading of the paper. So this is some kind of annotation, you understand, in the file, so that in case I highlighted it, next time when I come, I know, okay, this is what I identified from this paragraph, and like that. So you can have as much this thing as possible. And if you don't have this icon down, or when you go up here, you see I have another one like highlight. Let's say I want to highlight it, and you can actually change, add some color, or you can add some text to the highlights. Okay, for the feature, let's say I want to maybe they mention some limitations, and I want to address the limitations in the feature. So I annotate it with a note, I call it with the feature. So that is basically normally how you read, highlight, document, especially when the PDF is available in the Mendeley library. Yeah. So, but for